So on you, Doc.
Okay. So do we have the? All right. Great. All right. Welcome everyone to the Character Driven Leadership Café, and thank you so much for being here. Now, this is a virtual coffee shop, so I'm assuming that you're having your coffee with you because we are going to have a wonderful conversation. And this conversation exists because all the three of us, like me, Dr. McKinsey, Coach Atala, all the three of us kept noticing the same pattern across different roles, industries, and leadership environments. Leadership today is highly visible, highly discussed. Like if you go on the social media, you'll see people talking about leadership. Wherever you go, people are talking about leadership a lot. It's highly trained, yet trust is fragile. Cultures are unstable. And I guess that we are witnessing that today. We're seeing that everywhere. And alignment feels harder than ever. Now, what brought us here together wasn't titles, wasn't having the same titles, same background, or whatever. As you can see, like we are three people from different cultures, different um, expertise, let's say, or different backgrounds, different experiences. But what brought us together, it wasn't the role, or it wasn't the title, as I said. It was a shared concern. We kept asking the same question from different angles. The question is, why do capable leaders still struggle to sustain credibility, influence, and trust? That's a huge, huge concern that we're suffering from today. Over time, we realized that the issue wasn't skill. For me personally, it wasn't skill at all, and I'm sure that Atala and Dr. McKinsey have the same thing. It was not skill, and we're going to discover this today, by the way. It wasn't intelligence, and it wasn't even effort. It was foundation. We looked at the foundation throughout all our conversation together. When we were talking, we're having just casual talks and everything. All that we found out is that the problem is in the foundation, and that's where the VIP formula was born. The VIP formula was born from a simple conversation, or conversations, let me say, that we had, all the three of us, in the cafe, in the table talks, in our meetings, and whenever we get together and we start talking, we discovered that it is the foundation. And as I said, this was the born of the concept of the VIP leadership, you know, become a VIP leader. And we are here to change the definition of the red carpet. We are talking about the real definition of VIP: values, integrity, and principles. It's not a theory, it's not a motivational language, but the underlying structure that quietly shapes leadership, whether we acknowledge it or not. So tonight, you will hear three perspectives, each focused on one pillar of the VIP. Different views, different voices, different lenses, but one mission: to bring leadership back to what actually sustains it, which is the center of leadership: character. That's what we believe in. That's why it's called the character driven leadership. So we are going to start with Coach Atala. Of course, it is ladies first, but the reason why we're going to start with Coach Atala, apart of her being the lady and the queen of this webinar, we are going to start with Coach Atala because she is an expert in teaching and training values, the core values. So without further ado, we are going to hear from and start with Coach Atala. Thank you so much. Coach Atala, it's yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mackie. It's a privilege to be here with all of you. First of all, I always like to thank God for another day and for the opportunity that He's given us to connect in this webinar. Well, but I want to talk a little bit about those values. Those values were not created for no reason and just because it sounds like a positivism or something that is inspirational. Those values were created in real life. So from 7 different perspective points, I would say painful points in my life, I got the opportunity to create what is now RP7, the leadership door, which is practically from control to coherence. So can we go to the next one, please? What I want to talk about a little bit is here that for me it's very important to ask you something first. Are you leading your emotions or you are just reacting under pressure? The second question that I have for you is, are you leading your thoughts? Because believe it or not, your thoughts create emotions as well, feelings. Many times we want to lead companies, we want to lead people, but we are not leading ourselves. So I just want you to pause a little bit here and be very honest to you. Are you really leading your thoughts or your thoughts are leading you? Many times I have seen this in the corporate world, in patients as well, in families, even in myself, that your thought can lead you to something that is not even true. So it's creating a false reality, what you are feeling already. Think about it a little bit for a moment when you are leading your staff, maybe when you are leading those clients as well. What are the thoughts that are crossing into your mind at the moment that you are interacting with them? Just think for a moment. Then I just want to ask you, what is your level of energy as well? Because believe it or not, everything is energy, right? An emotion can lead you to a higher level of energy without even notice. But also the wrong emotion or the wrong thought can drain you as well. So here, I would like to just mention that over the years, I have seen how people forget the importance of really, really being honest with themselves. How they're leading their lives is the same way how they're leading their thoughts. And most of the time, I have seen people are not leading themselves. Not because they cannot, but because they don't want to go to their true emotions. And this is very important because emotions create results. From your emotions also lead you to have more possibilities, believe it or not, based on what you're thinking. So belief system, your process, your emotions, your feelings are all connected. And you are always, always expressing something to the world, to your family, to your kids, to your clients, to your coworkers, all the time. So can we go to the next one, please? Something important is that I have seen that leaders, which is the reality, are exhausted. But can I tell you something? It's not just because they have a lot of activities to do. They have to travel a lot, which is true. They have a lot of stress, it is true. But also they have a lot of thoughts. Thoughts that sometimes are taking away their productivity, their clarity, their energy, they're solving problems easily. Because at the end of the day, one more time, is based about emotions. Think about for a moment, when you are in your daily day, you're always going through from one activity to the next one, from one phone call to an email, from one meeting to the next one. You are carrying emotions, believe it or not, from one activity to the other one. So many times what I have seen is that the activity, the previous activity, we're in a conversation, in a meeting that we feel maybe irritated, maybe we feel disappointed. And if we don't reset those emotions you carry to the next activity. So I want you to just pause for a moment. How is your daily day? How many activities do you do? Did you reset your emotions? Or just you keep going to the next one? Believe it or not, I have seen how many times the situation that you're dealing and the frustration is not happening for the meeting, the discussion in that moment. It's coming from the previous situation, previous conversation. So that's what is very important to notice. Leaders are not just exhausted for the many things that we have. So many times we don't even know how to reset our own emotional system. Can we go to the next one, please? We can also say here that another important thing I have noticed is that exhaustion doesn't come from nowhere. Of course, when you are always constantly thinking, it may be a problem. And sometimes you don't even notice how many minutes, hours, days, sometimes weeks, sometimes even months or even years, you haven't cultivated the same thought. That low thought is leading your life, but also your results. So this is what is very important. Every single day, how you're really resetting yourself, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions. And you think about it, we overlapping always, not just activities, but feelings, emotions. Emotions are the ones who are leading us. So it's something to just think about it. You don't need to tell me now, but you can just pause for a little bit during the day and truly be honest with yourself. How many emotions have you been carrying for the last week, 2 weeks, for the last month, for conversation that you never hear with a family member, with a client, with a coworker? Those leaders sometimes they carry a lot of baggages too, because they have been not able to really clarify problems from the past. And those problems not just carry emotions, they carry energy, sometimes conflicts, and sometimes division. There is no effective communication. There is a lot of overwhelming burnout because of that. For emotional luggage, believe it or not, also not just in families, but also in business. Can we go to the next one, please? The problem here is that we all know, we all have a lot of urgency things, of course, metrics, right? Deadlines. We also have a lot of constant motion too, but also pressure. And that all is true. We all carry many things during the day, many deadlines. Sometimes we overwhelm ourselves, right? Because when we don't have the energy to function with, first of all, that energy is going to be, it's going to take more energy from us to do something. And maybe we all go through the same thing. We always say not just yes to something that sometimes maybe is not even in our priority, but we say yes. So first of all, it's something to also consider here. I'm pausing for a moment. Sometimes I have seen that it's not just to say yes to everything and don't put boundaries. It's because sometimes we don't say yes to ourselves, to reset, to pause, to really, really pause, which is so important. Our body needs reset, our mind also. And many times we are overwhelming ourselves, but especially we're stressing our body too. And when the body is stressful, I mean, not just for the situation, but we are not creating from that higher level of creativity. We can spend hours, we can spend sometimes days, and sometimes solution doesn't come because we need to reset, we need to pause, we need to breathe as well. Can we go to the next one, please? Well, the consequence is various in reality. Here's it's not just going to be the overwhelm, the burnout, the lack of teamwork, of course. Sometimes also it's going to be not having effective solutions, or not just that. Sometimes I can see also that the teams cannot even work between them. I mean, is creating a lot of conflict. Many times, what I have heard from people is like they are burnt out. They don't feel that they have been considered in their jobs, that they cannot speak out to the leaders because they also feel intimidated. They feel a lot of control, and all those things happen. So, consequences are several, but one of the most important is that if we are not leading ourselves emotionally, we are not able to lead also other people because we are mirrors and our energy is expressed to other people as well. I have seen when people or leaders are upset for something that happened and they are not able to reset their emotions. So they go and express in that frustrated way to people who are not even responsible for it. So we are not aware about how we are leading in the world, not just people. We're not leading people, we're leading energy, believe it or not. Your energy, you need to lead your energy because also the people who is in front of you must learn from you. I'm hoping that this makes sense. Consequences are several, but one of the most important is that if we don't lead ourselves at a more conscious level, This is like behind the scenes. We don't see it. We're vibrating to everywhere we go. Leaders, we need to be more aware about how are we leading in reality. Can we go to the next one, please? Here, the Leader Foundation. Well, we're talking about regulation emotion, right? Then, when we regulate our emotion, that gives us more energy, and then we have more the capacity, right? And also to execute any strategy, any kind of roadmap with the best, to getting the best results. It is very important because emotion is not just something lighter. Emotion is when you are able to connect your body, your mind, and your spirit. That's what really leadership needs. Can we go to the next one, please? Here, when I say from control to coherence, is because when you are able to identify really those values that we're going to be talking very soon, your energy is going to be changing. But also, how do you lead? From what is the energy? What is the mindset? What is the thought process? What are those emotions that really help you to lead with more presence, with more connection, human connection also is integrated here. How you're going to be able to lead more naturally and people will follow you easily. Can we go to the next one, please? Here, leader is a state. Leadership is a state. Practically, it's not only like, I would say, a movement is not also something that people think, it's because it's a title. As Dr. Maki said, it's not just even, it's not a profession, it's a state, because it's a state of mind, it's a state of being, it's a state of actually of well-being, I would say too. Everything is integrated. We don't see that. This is like, it's beyond the scenes. We always say that the leader is the one who performs better, faster, who achieves more. Yes and no, because that person who achieved that kind of level of capacity to lead, I can guarantee you most probably is leading also stress level, mindset, most probably breathing techniques, most probably meditation, has work, personal work to do for him or her being able to lead at that capacity. And we go to the next one, please. We all know that there are different levels of leadership, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you are just in the beginning stage, right? Or maybe you are just leading with that kind of consciousness. At the end of the day, those layers, those phases lead to the same thing, energy, values that we're going to be talking in just a second. Can we go to the next one, please? Under pressure, we know everybody reacts. Leaders react. Values, what they're going to do, they're going to actually restore. They're going to give you the choice. You will decide. Not the previous conversation, not the problem that you need to solve. You are going to decide, because when you reset, you are resetting not just mentally, physically. You are decreasing stress, cortisol level, inflammation. So you are able to have more clarity as well. Because also it's important to consider here that everybody can have pressure, and we do have, not just in moments of making difficult decisions, just every day we create many different ways to solve problems, per se, something, or maybe you also decide like something simple. Should I call this client or no? You use your intuition, right? You use your vision as well. Everything is connected when you start really leading from those values. And something important here to consider, like, it's not just about reacting, it's about also knowing that if we react, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to create communication. We're not going to create that connection with our staff, with our clients. We're going to be just vibrating very, very low. Can we go to the next one, please? Here are the 7 core values that I've been talking about, which I wanted to mention to you. This is like a catalyst. What I have seen is like when you start leading from, for example, love, which I say always is not romantic, it's not something positive, it's not positivism either. It's actually love sustains. And not only that, regulates. When you're in a conversation that is very heavy, for example, and you start really expressing love, and that's mean that I want the best for this person. I want to create a solution. I want to make this person feel important, considered. That is also a different kind of energy. You are able to communicate better, and people is also more open to listen and to provide feedback and to be able to be open. So it's very important because you are changing your chemistry as well. It's not just like, oh, I love my family. Absolutely, you can love your job, you can love humanity, you can love your coworkers because you want the very best for them as well. Also, gratitude. What happens when we're always focusing on the negative things? This is a value that changes, that shifts everything, and actually shifts so quickly. When I see a person, usually, or leaders, usually, sometimes we can focus in the wrong thing, in the mistake. And then you just observe the mistake and you remind the mistake of that person. When you start really being grateful for also for that person to be able to bring you to your attention, for being able to solve a problem, you're turning the decision totally, but also the outcome. So that's very important as well. Compassion is another one. These values I applied for 16 years in the medical field, but I saw how also leaders, big doctors, also entrepreneurs, CEOs, um, even people from the government, top leaders, this is the way that people actually hide per se, not hide, but doesn't allow themselves the opportunity to really connect, completely change their energy, the outcome, the productivity, and I will say also the relationships. So this is empathy, kindness, forgiveness, and faith. These 7 core values, I will tell you that not just help you to lead better, but also create better relationships, not only with themselves, with yourself, but also with your world. That means your family, that means people in your business, that means your business partners. So it's something to consider. I have been applying these 7 core values for more than 16 years, actually in coaching, speaking, and training, and I have seen the shift in their minds, in their hearts, but also in the perspective, which is very important to me. Why? Because I think this world needs more values. I think that there is a lot of chaos already, and sometimes we forget that there's more simple values. These are not expensive. These are inside of each one of us, but we need to create consciousness to be able to apply them in our daily life. So here's something important because, for example, forgiveness. When you're able to forgive the mistake for somebody and you're able to redirect that person is going to not just learn from the mistake, it's going to create higher trust and more confidence in himself as well. So again, these values express energy, but also change the chemistry because it's proof that they produce more serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. So they make you feel lighter, better, right? Your well-being is taken care automatically and naturally, and you are taking care also the people who is around you. So that's what is very important. Faith, for example, when you are with a team member and you believe that the person can do it, you are transmitting your faith to that person, and that person can excel. It's unbelievable. Some people sometimes they don't believe in themselves, but when you're able to see something in them and you express that through that faith that you can do it, that I admire you, that you did a very good job. All those things are beautiful, but when you are expressing from your own conviction, that's automatically a win for you and for that person as well. Can we go to the next one, please? So this is what I create, the leadership door, RP7. And I call one breath, one value, one less spoon. Can we go to the next one, please? Here is important to mention that with a simple space, simple action, I would say, you have 21 seconds, right? That's nothing, less than a minute. When you start really breathing in consciousness, and you can even put your hand into your heart. This is skin with the skin is even better because the chemistry start right away. So changing the chemistry in your body. So you start inhaling, and you start inhaling consciously, and you're inhaling maybe a value. Maybe you feel, that gratitude, maybe that compassion. whatever value you think you need, and you connect with that through emotion, in 7 seconds, you are changing your mindset. You are changing energy here. And there is more blood flow, there is more oxygen level, but also stress level decrease. And when you exhale in 7 seconds, maybe, frustration, maybe anger, maybe, I don't know, disappointment, you are resetting automatically over and over. So it's something that must be practiced. You must practice. But when you start you start regulating your own self, getting to know your body, how to respond, your emotions, your thoughts. And it's beautiful because you don't have to spend a lot of time. The more that you do it, you breathe in, you connect with that value, and then you let go the frustration, or you just listen to your body, you tune to your body, and it's amazing the transformation. You can do it during the day, you can do it when you are driving as well. You don't have to do it in a specific place. That's the beauty, and the benefits are amazing. Here there is the relationship between leadership. You have 3 doors: the leadership, the life, and the health door. In all these, I always use RP7 because I have noticed, for example, in leadership, better communication. I mean, problems are solved easily or faster also. Less stress, which is very important. Also, more teamwork. Who doesn't want to be connected better also with their colleagues? That's important too. But not only that, leadership is also in your life, right? So when I'm talking about lives, families can come together through values, through respect, through that kindness, through that empathy. Husband and wife, the same thing, because they are communicating differently with different level of energy, consciousness there. Also kids, because you are actually cultivating values in their lives. So they are becoming with a little bit more of self-love, self-respect. And that's important also. We're creating leaders, right? Something else in your health. This is proof. These values scientifically also is proof. They regulate more your nervous system. We are always in a stress response, so we want people to take decisions, make decisions from a higher level of not just consciousness, of course, but also clarity. Clarity is important, and these values give you clarity. So that is what I have been so blessed to being able to apply these values with people who were in moments of a lot of stress in their lives, high level of stress. People making decisions from life and death. People like making decisions from, do I stay in Houston or I go back to my country? People for making decisions so I disconnect my father or no. This is high level of stress. And most of these people were big leaders in their countries, big financial leaders as well. So I noticed something. In moments of life and death, you can regulate more your body, how you don't use this, how we cannot use this to regulate also when we're making decisions in our life, in our health, and in our business. This is something for you to think about. Can we go to the next one, please? I believe this is really clarity for me. I believe are not just skills, to develop. This is biological. And also it's very strategic regulators. We always think about, if I need more energy, I need to drink a coffee or a Coca-Cola or maybe a energetic drink. Not necessary. Energy comes from inside. When you're able to start extracting the energy from elevating your consciousness, serving the world with these values, I can guarantee you're going to perform with a higher level of intensity, but not because you need something extra to give you, because you are just connecting with those beautiful values that change your chemistry, your energy, but also the frequency that you can expand, that you practically expand. And something also that I have seen, there have been studies in Harvard, in many other universities. There is another Dr. Dispenza as well. He has created MRIs, for example, X-ray from people when they are moving in these beautiful values. And it's amazing the benefits. People can start releasing, cortisol level. People start even walking. I have a case that is a patient who had a major stroke, an accident, and we start working in values. unbelievable. The person is speaking, is walking, because it changes our chemistry. We also have leaders, also leaders in their business, and we go through the same thing. And it's beautiful to see their perspective is changing. The way that they now treat people is different, and the way that they treat themselves and their families as well. I'm sorry. Can we go to the next one, please? I really believe that RP7 elevates your life, your health, and your business, or your leadership skills as well. The next one, please. And my name is Atala Tobar, and I am the creator of RP7, the leadership door. And also, I've been spending more than 16 years helping people in critical cases, but also listen to many thousands of leaders in the world, and I have learned so much from them. But one of the things I can tell you is that we are all the same. We all go through emotions. We are going through pain. We're going to have to make decisions in a certain point of our life that they are drastically decisions. We all want also to have more energy, and we all want peace. No matter the country, no matter the religion, no matter the social status, and no matter what kind of leader are you. So today, I just want to invite you to reflect a little bit. See how you're leading your life, your business, your health, your emotions, and your thoughts. And if you want to just try this simple exercise, because I can guarantee you it will change you the way that you see yourself, and your body will respond better, but you will lead with more clarity, with more energy, and actually with more peace as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Atala. Thank you so much, Atala. This was beneficial. And as you can see now, we have spoken about values. Now, values is what leaders believe in, what they stand for, and what they give, like what gives their leadership a sense of direction. But there's a quiet question that always follows values. Do they actually show up when it costs you something? And when I was asking this question, I saw the answer in one of the slides that Atala was talking about. Values restore choices, or choices restore values, right? Choices restore values. So that's where I found the answer. That's where integrity enters the conversation. And that's why today I'm going to talk to you about integrity. Before I start talking or go through the slides, I want to say something. We've been introduced to new systems, industries, and opportunities, and we quickly assume that this is it. This is a personal experience that I had in my life. This is the path, like we will say something like, this is the path that I want to walk in, or I want to stay in, the place that I will grow and rise and at least settle comfortably. We all been there, right? Whether the intention was or is to advance, maintain the position, like advance the position or maintain the position that you are in, or simply feel secure. Many people move through these experiences without questioning what they are reinforcing along the way. So here's the truth. Most of the time, those experiences were never the destination. They were moments of exposure. You know, in life, like when we just encounter opportunities or join new system or whatever the case may be, we think that this is a destination. But as I always say, that life is a journey towards the golden state, which means that every phase is a door. It's not you're going through the destination, but not every stop is the destination. It's moment of exposure to the next phase. As long as we live, we keep on going. It's the journey is revealing alignment. Now, Italo was talking about values. why you have to keep these values active, why you have to keep on practicing these values, because every phase in your life requires these values, requires for you to discover things, to start, finding alignment with it. And again, this is where integrity enters the room, or enters in your life. For me, that realization led me to leadership. All my journey, I was encountering opportunities, new systems, new ways of exploring life. I didn't know that I was destined to meet with my passion towards leadership. And along that journey, I came across John Maxwell's statement that stuck to me until today. And I'm talking about 15 or 20 years of discovery journey. And that statement goes like this: everything rises and falls on leadership. But through my experience, the experience kept revealing something deeper to me. Until today, I discovered that leadership rises and falls on character. Character rises and falls on integrity. Integrity is not about perfection. It's not about alignment. It's not about any of these. It's the consistency between what you value, what we say, what we choose, where no one is watching. It's something between us and us. Today, as we focus on integrity, I want to walk you through the lie, the real definition, and the cost of alignment. Are we ready, Doc? Let's go to the first slide, if you don't mind.
Yes, we're ready.
All right. So, integrity. Integrity, as I said, we know the wrong definition of integrity. And this slide is going to be quick. It's going to be light. You're going to be introduced to the lie and to the real definition and the cost of alignment. So we'll jump into the next slide, if you don't mind, Doc. So the lie, the integrity myth. We all know that integrity, we've been told that integrity is honesty. Everybody can be honest. Everybody can be good. Everybody can have that image. But when the hard situation kicks in, what happened? You're still honest. You're still good. You still have the image. But we're talking about your actions. Your actions tells us more about your integrity. And as I said, integrity is something that happens privately before it goes publicly. So when the hard time kicks, it's going to show whether you seriously have integrity or you're just having the image, you're being good, you're being nice, which everybody can be good, nice, have the image. But what differentiates you from other people is when the hard time comes. Next, please. Integrity is the alignment between values, decision, and behavior. That's it. Values, as we said, like Atala was telling you, to stay where you are, to restore your, to have the choices to restore your values, or values to restore your choices, you have to be anchored, right? Stand to what matters to you. So you have to have this real conversation with you and yourself. You have to have this real conversation. You have to ask yourself questions. And I always say the golden key in life is understanding. And the first thing you need to understand is yourself. You need to know the thing that you are rolling inside your body. You need to understand it. What triggers so-and-so? What makes me so-and-so? What, make me do this, that? So values are very important. encourage you to go through the practice that Atala was talking about. Maybe so many people talk about these things. If no one tells you the how or the why you're doing this, maybe you're not going to be encouraged to do what's needed for you to understand yourself. So start practicing. Start with values. Practice your values. Start practicing what anchored you, because this is where integrity starts developing. Now, this will affect your decisions, what you choose. I never, I didn't see or hear Atala talking about the values as much as she was talking about them today. But can you see the connection? And I'm sure you're going to see the connection between values, integrity, and then principles. That's why we call this the formula or the V.I.P formula. This is, seriously, guys. Finally, behavior. When pressure hits, what's going to happen? How are you going to behave? How are you going to respond? Sorry, just hold on a second. Excuse me. So, how you're going to respond, not react. Because as you saw again from Atala's presentation, the first level of leadership, which I call movers, is people who react to life. So this is the real definition. It's the alignment between values, behavior, or the values and decisions and behaviors. Next. What breaks integrity? You say, I'm not going to refer back. I can't. You say that you value growth, but you are avoiding uncomfortable. You're not being disciplined. You're not doing what's needed to be done, what's necessary to be done in order for you to achieve growth. Secondly, you say that you value discipline. You act when you are motivated. You are depending on your mood, and so on. So what kind of value you're giving to this thing called discipline, to this thing called growth? How do you value them? You have to walk the walk and act and talk the talk. Sorry. Next. And finally, you have the cost of misalignment. If you are misaligned, you will be inconsistent. You will have inconsistent actions. You will have self-doubt. You will have loss of momentum and brand confusion. Now, when we talk about brand, we're talking about uniqueness. We're not talking about marketing. We're not talking about all this huge buzzwords people are talking about. When we talk about brand, we're talking about your own fingerprint, your own brand, your uniqueness, your gift, the thing that you hold within. This is your brand. Whether you are expressing it through a logo, through a business, through whatever, this is you hold brand inside of you. But if you don't have the alignment, everything is misaligned, I guess that we've been there. Self-doubt, self-talk, demotivated, you lose momentum, you depend on your mood, you just wait for tomorrow, you just keep waiting for things to happen, you don't depend on yourself. And I will always say that there are three things in order for you to become the person that you aim to become. Trust God, lead yourself, love people. This is my mantra since 20 years. Trust God, lead yourself, love people. When we trust God, we're talking about the last value that Atala was talking about, is faith. Have faith in God. Trust God. He is the creator. He made you. He placed the brand and uniqueness inside of you. And then lead yourself. That's when you start having integrity. You seriously value discipline. You seriously value growth. You seriously value people. You seriously value this seriousness. Be truthful to yourself. And then love people. Again, one of the values that Atala was talking about. So trust God, lead yourself, value people, and all these things will make you aligned in everything in your life. Therefore, after you do that, you will never experience like you will never experience self-doubt. You will never you'll keep having momentum because there will be some sort of flow going on. It's energy again, energy, right? So as you can see, we're talking about it from a different angle, from different perspectives, but we are talking about the same thing. Next, Doc. The key truth, you don't need more discipline. You need more integrity. That's it. For years, we've been hearing people talking about like, be disciplined, do this, discipline is much more better than, decision making and this and that. The key word is integrity. And after 15, 20 years of experience, I'm telling you that character rises and falls on integrity. That's the new mantra. Leadership rises and falls on leadership, on character, and character rises and falls on integrity. With integrity, you will control the world because you will have alignment and you will have everything under control. You have to start practicing values and facing yourself truthfully in order for you to develop your integrity. Next. Clarity begins when you stop lying to yourself. That's why I have created something called the integrity gap audit. And the integrity gap audit and every resource that we're going to provide through this workshop or webinar is going to be uploaded to the Facebook group. So we encourage you to join our community, to have access to all the resources that me and Atala and Dr. McKinsey are providing and putting in order to form a community full of V.I.P leaders, people or leaders who lead with values, integrity, and principles. So make sure that you jump to the Facebook group and find the resource and download it and start being truthful to yourself. Start practicing and working on values and integrity. With this being said, we are going to go to the next pillar by Dr. McKinsey. Dr. McKinsey, can we jump to the last slide? I want you to remember that, again, leadership rises and falls on character, and character rises and falls on integrity. And one more thing I want to mention here is that it's not coincidence that the I becomes after the V and before the P, because integrity holds values and principles together. And that's where we are going to discover the information about principles by the one and only Dr. McKinsey, the impact builder, that I am really honored to have him one of the Character Driven Leadership Café's team, and one of the people that I enjoyed working with a lot. So without further ado, the mic is yours, Dr. McKinsey, and thank you so much. You're muted. You're muted.
I said, now I got to put myself on the spot. So this has been absolutely phenomenal. I hope that everyone is getting the information that is being poured out into this webinar, because if you're not taking notes, you should be taking notes, because this is This is a webinar that you want to come away with being able to implement and use everything that Coach Atala's been talking about, that Dr. Mackey's been talking about so far, and then hopefully what I'm getting ready to kind of talk about here, which is the last leg of the VIP, which is your principles. What are your principles? What is having principles about? Developing your what I call your personal value system and your brand value system in order to be able to have values and integrity in everything that you do. And it makes it, this will pull everything together, hopefully for you, where you'll be able to say, well, how do I develop values? How do I develop integrity? It starts and ends with having the foundation of principles. Principles is what keeps your values in place. Principles are what keeps your integrity in place because it's like your self check list. Once you see when I finish with this, you'll come away with, okay, now that I have principles in place, now I know when there come situations and challenges, I keep my value intact by adhering to what I said I was not going to shrink up against. So that's what these principles are here to do for you. So let's jump right into this really quickly. Why principles matter. Principles matter because they anchor you as a leader in your identity and your purpose. It will give you the understanding of I know who I am. Every single day, I have to write for myself what are my I am statements. I am a centered man. I am a principled man. A leader I am a leader with values. I am wealthy. These I am statements that I say to myself. They give me the ability to be able to remind myself over and over again what I'm anchored in. And that's why principles matter. They guide your decisions, your actions, and your responses, as Coach Atala has told you, and as Dr. Mackey has told you. All of those actions that they talked about taking and doing, they give you the guide. The principles give you the guide to be able to take those actions and the responses that you have to those things that happen or that happen. With principles, weak principles equals shaky leadership. So if you're shaky on those principles, you're not quite sure what principles, you don't have a set of core principles that you hold to, your leadership will always be shaky because you will always be bound to something else that can come along and take. So you want to make sure that you don't have weak principles. And then the last one, you want to have clear principles. Clarity in leadership is key. You must be clear about who you are as a leader. One of my I am statements is I am a leader with clarity. I lead with clarity because when leaders lead with clarity, the decisions that they make are decisions that they're making, understanding that they're making those decisions that are going to hopefully lead them to the results that they want. And it might not always, results may not always come, but when you have principles and you have clarity, more than likely you're going to be successful with those results that you're trying to be able to get to. So that's why principles principles matter. And so your personal value system, these are mine. This is my PVSs. This is what I hold myself to when it comes to making every decision that I make. And when I got these and I developed these through a master class that I am a part of, when we sat down and we had to, and there's a method to getting to these. I started off just even real quick. I started off with like they gave us 180 words, and I had to shrink those 180 words down to the to these that you see right here. These 7 words that you see right here. That's wisdom, vision, uniqueness, commitment, consistency, and excellence and accountability. So whenever I make decisions, my decisions, I have to look at these personal values and principles that I hold myself to. Am I making an intelligent, wise decision? Does it align with my vision? Am I being unique? I'm not like looking to be like everybody else. I Everything that I do, I want to make sure that I'm unique. Am I going to be committed? to what it is that I'm saying I'm going to do? Am I going to be consistent in what it is that I say that I want to do? Am I operating in excellence? Am I operating at a standard that I'm holding myself to? And then the last one is accountability. Am I holding myself accountable for the decisions that I make? Good results or bad results? Am I holding myself accountable for those decisions? That's my PVS. Now you don't have to have these particular ones, but you want to have a set of core principles that you call yourself to be able to hold yourself accountable to. And you should have at least 5 to 7 core words that you hold that are principles that you will hold yourself accountable to. And when you do that, that strengthens you as a leader, your decision as a leader, the decisions that you make. If this is one of the most important things that I've learned over the because I did this last year, 2024. This was probably one of the most clarity performing things that I did. I got so much more clarity when I developed these because it gave me something to be able to be able to as a foundation for everything that I did. This is my brand value system, the VVS. And if you notice, the first 7 are the same as my personal value system. That's the wisdom, vision, uniqueness, commitment, consistency, excellence, and accountability. The last 3 are from what are the core of what I want my brand to be known for. That's to enlighten, empower, and to impact. Enlighten means to teach someone something, and the empowerment means to equip someone with something, and impact means to move someone to do something. So everything that I do from a brand standpoint, from my business standpoint, it's about those first 7 and then the last 3. It must teach you something, it must equip you with something, and it must impact you to want to move and do something. That's what this whole webinar is about. It's about to enlighten you, to empower you, and to impact you. It's to teach you something. It's to equip you with something, and then it's to impact you to want to move and do something. So everything that we've done today it has a core of those 3 things. We want you to be taught something, hopefully something that you hadn't heard before. We'll give you something that you equip you with, where you can take away from this webinar and say, I can implement these things right away. This is not something that you have to wait for. This is something that you can do today. You can go home. I give homework, Atala. I give homework that, and people know that listen to me. I give homework. This is your homework for the weekend. It's Friday. I know it's Friday. I know you want to go have fun this weekend, and you can do that. But as a part of your weekend, I just want you to create your personal value system. That's all. That's all I want you to do. It's 5 to 7 things that you will hold yourself accountable to when you're making the decisions that you're making in order to be able to be the leader that you want to be able to be. Your VIP leadership formula. That's what we've been talking about all day today. Your VIP leadership formula. That's your personal value system, your brand value system, which in turn is your culture. That's what you believe in. That's what the core of those that follow you, those that you may even serve, they will know you for. When you think of core leadership, VIP leadership formulas, I always use 2 companies, and I think that they're 2 of the best companies that do what we're talking about that today, and that's the Marriott Hotel, and that's Chick-fil-A. Those are 2. One is a restaurant, one is a hotel. They have a set of core values, integrity, and principles that gets embedded in every single person that comes to work for them. It starts from the owner that created Chick-fil-A, that started Marriott, the great granddad of Marriott. When he started the hotel, he incorporated a value system in those, not only his family, but also his business family, his brand family. He aligned those values to create this culture that is within that hotel brand. Same thing with Chick-fil-A. They've embedded that into their family lifestyle, their personal value system, and their brand value system, which is the businesses that they own. And what that did for them, and this will do it for you, what it does, it will create trust. It will create trust in those that you serve. Everyone that you come to serve will learn to trust you. And as a result of that trust, you know what you gain? You gain loyalty. People will come back to you over and over and over again because they know what they're going to gain from you as a brand, as a person. And especially when you have values, integrity, and you have principles, that stands out, especially in this day and time. And what it creates for you, creates not only a legacy, but it creates a sustainable impact that lasts far beyond you. Marriott Hotels was started, I want to say back in the 18, I think maybe 1800. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on when they started. But to this day, the values, the integrity, and the principles of Marriott are embedded in that company. I, my first job out of college was working for Marriott Hotels, and that was back in 1992, 93, 92, 93. So you're talking 34, 35 years ago, and I still hold those principles that I learned from there to what I do in my job now, in my work that I do now with business consulting. They are my black friend. They are what I use when I talk about principles, when I talk about values, and all of those things, because it's had a sustainable impact on me, and it's had a sustainable impact on, on the, even with my family, my personal aspects of it, and my brand value. So that's what you gain. When you utilize the VIP leadership formula that we're talking about here today. And here's how you put principles into practice. Everything. I promise you, if you do this, it will take your leadership to a whole nother level. And here's the first thing: you got to define it. You have to define your principles. That's getting those 5 to 7 principles that you will hold yourself accountable to and for. Then you got to declare, this is who I am. I am a man, woman of vision. I'm a man and woman of integrity. I'm a man and woman of vision. I am a man and woman of all of those things that you will come to visualize yourself being. You got to declare it. Then you have to demonstrate it. That means you got to walk the walk. You got to talk the talk. People have to physically see you using those values, that integrity, and the principles that you say you hold yourself to. That goes to holding yourself accountable. You have to be the physical interpretation of those principles that you say, and that's the demonstrating it. And then the last one is you got to defend it. If there are people, if there are organizations, if there are companies that you see that are operating outside of that, I want you to be able to take note of. You ain't got to call them out, out of your mouth or anything like that. You don't start the trouble, whatever. But understand, you say to yourself, that's not right. And that's what drew me to the Character Driven Leadership Cafe. Because this was a place that I knew that we were going, that was not afraid of holding organizations and leaders accountable for who and what they say that they were going to be. We need to be sounding the alarm and letting people know on a broad scale that leadership has to have character. It, as Dr. Mack, leadership rises and falls on character. And that is so true. But you got to define it, you got to declare it, you have to demonstrate it, and you have to be willing to defend it at any cost. When you do that, that's how you become a VIP leader. And here's the last thing. I'll finish this. I call it my finish strong statement. Your talent may open the doors, but only your principles, your values, and integrity will keep you in the room. I'm going to say that again. I don't think y'all heard me. Your talent may open the doors. It'll get you. Your skill set will get you in the door. You can talk that good talk. There's some folks out here that can talk a real good game. They can get in the door. But what will keep them in the door, what keeps you in the door every single time are your principles. They'll keep you in that room. It will have people in the room asking, who is that person? There's something different about them. And when you conduct yourself and you carry yourself with values, integrity, and principles, you stand out from everybody else. It's it's not even the things that you may necessarily say, but there's a presence about you. There's an aura about you that people see and people will say, and that will get passed on. That's what people will tell when you talk about your leadership or your brand, your organization. People will say, yeah, it was just something, it was a different feeling I got dealing with this person, dealing with Coach Tyler. She was on a whole different thinking level. She was on a whole different walking level. There's a way that I came away from feeling of when I talked with her. It was something different. That's what will keep people coming back to you over and over again and keep people talking about you to someone else. So I want you to take that away from all of it. And so, just like Coach Tyler and Dr. Mackey, you can connect with me through the through the Character Driven Leadership group on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We're on all of them. Me as well on my personal pages too. You can do that, and I do have, or Doc, I will have on the in the group there. It's the 5-day full work conversion framework, and what that is, it's the 5 levels of leadership. It gives you a template for being able to every single day to be able to use a frame, because it has where you can you have meditation, journaling, scripture for those that want to have that spiritual aspect of it to them, and your RGA, which is your revenue generating activities. What are you doing daily that's going to be able to give you the daily financial results that you want? What is it in order to be able to get the results that you want? It has to be, you have to have a routine. Every successful leader, every successful business person, every successful person, take a look. If you think I'm lying, take a look at anyone that you think deemed to be successful. I promise you, they have a routine. They have a daily routine that they do, that they've developed, that has gotten them to being successful because they're committed to it, they're consistent with it. Those two things, and they're determined to be successful with it. So with that, I'm done, Doc. I am super excited that you all have decided to join us today. I think this has been something just great that you'll hopefully take away, and you'll be able to use this going into 2026 as we begin to prepare to elevate for 2026. I'm Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder, and I'm gonna pass the mic back to you, Dr. Mackey, so you can close this out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for you, Dr. McKenzie, and thank you, Atala, for sharing your experience and expertise with the attendees and the guests that we are having in our virtual coffee shop, the Character Driven Leadership. Well, as we bring this conversation to a close, I want to zoom out for a moment. What you have heard tonight wasn't 3 disconnected talks. It was one leadership truth viewed from 3 angles. Values give leadership direction. Principles give it structure, as we heard from Dr. McKenzie. And integrity, as I told you, is what holds together when pressure hits. It holds the values and the principles together. It's the way you show up under pressure. It reveals the way you worked on your values. It reveals the way you worked on your principles. If you really have principles, if you really have values that you stand for, and it reveals the way you deal with yourself on privately, let's say. Leadership doesn't usually collapse loudly. As we can see, today we have all the technology. We have all the things that can, make our life easy. Yet, leadership is one of the hardest principles, if I can say that we can walk with authenticity and transparency and being a human. I don't want to go into the gap of saying that leadership became a buzzword, because it's not. We all have, we all can hold knives. Either we can cut slice of sweet with it, or we can kill with it. I hope that this makes sense. Leadership erodes quietly through small compromises, misalignment, and choices with no applause. That's why the V.I.P formula isn't about becoming impressive leaders. It's about becoming aligned leaders. When you are aligned, everything else is simple. When you are aligned, everything else is simple. And today, you had access to learn about the importance of values and to learn about the importance of principles. And developing integrity, what holds the two things together. Think of it like a bow. Hold it from the middle and walk your life balanced. That's it. It's simple. You have 3 perspectives, 3 experiences, sharing with you the wisdom, or sharing with you the hardships that we went through that made us reach where we are today. We are not here to impress you. We are here to give you what you need to become a V.I.P leader, the real definition. Values, integrity, principles. When you walk with these 3, you are going to be the true you, the you that you love to be, or you loved to be for years, but you got lost in the middle of the chaos and disaster that we're going through today. Look at what's going on. We're going through the hardest time ever, with all the simplicity that is created for us. Yet, we're starving, and we're suffering, and we're struggling. So my message to you is, take the resources that we have in our Facebook group and start working on them. On your pace. No problem, no hurry. Be true to yourself. Take the time. Be your best friend. Learn the values that you stand for. Develop integrity and have your principles and defend them. I learned a lot from Coach Atala. I learned a lot from Dr. McKinsey. We came together and we created the Character Driven Leadership Café for you to pick your own taste. If this conversation resonates with you, it's because leadership isn't something you are trying to add. It's something you are trying to stabilize. And that's not a journey meant to be walked alone. That's why we are here. We will continue this conversation beyond tonight. As you can see, we have the YouTube channel, we have the Facebook, we have the LinkedIn, we have the Instagram. Just connect with us, pick your taste, and start learning through our community, our content, and our shared learning space. And we're not going to stop here. We have so many things to start applying just to reach the promise that we have to you all, is to help you become the V.I.P leader, a person who walks with values, integrity, and principles. And wherever you go, you will see me talking about the same thing. And I'm sure that Coach Atala will be talking about the same thing in her language. Dr. McKinsey is going to talk about the same thing in his language. We are connected for a reason. It's not coincidence. It's God's plan. So we will continue this conversation, as we said, beyond tonight. Connect with us, and we invite you to join the community on Facebook, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have we're gonna hit like 200 digital content that you can learn from on the YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram, and this is continued clarity. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to reflect, because leadership doesn't change when you learn more. It changes when we align deeper. With that being said, we are the leadership team of the Character Driven Leadership Café, helping you becoming the VIP leader. Thank you so much.